Hello, everybody. This is Brad Swift, and this is Gaya's Call 2.0. And I'm here today, not just with my lovely co host, Marla, but she's going to introduce our guest, and he's going to let us know where he's calling in from, and we're going to have a fascinating conversation with him. So, Marla, I'm just going to turn it over to you.
Hi, Brad. Hi, everyone. As Preye has in his background, Happy Earth Day. We are recording this on the
Yeah.
22nd of April. So today we have with us Mr. Preye Kari, who's a lecturer in microbiology with a specialization in environmental microbiology. His work focuses on exploring the relationship between microbiology and sustainability and how the invisible world of microbes shapes many of the systems that support life on Earth. Preye has also worked with the Global Carbon Reward Organization, a climate finance initiative aimed at accelerating global climate action. Through his writing and research, he advocates for a greater appreciation of microbiology, highlighting how microbes can influence such areas such as soil, food systems, environmental balance, and climate processes. He believes that microbiology is often underappreciated despite its central role in sustaining ecosystems and hopes to bring the field more prominently into conversations about sustainability and the future of our planet. So, Preye, first of all, welcome. Tell us a little bit about your work with microbiology and most people think of microbes as germs. You're obviously not one of those people. So tell us about your work. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Brad and Mala, for giving me the opportunity to be here, especially on Earth Day today. I just want to start by, putting out there today that microorganisms are not your germs. And microbiology is not just about fighting germs or trying to see microbes that are responsible for germs and all. We basically have a PR problem and a branding problem. And today I'm here to, sensitize the public and tell everyone that microbes are actually more than that. Microbiology field as a whole, it's cuts across different aspects of life. It cuts across environmental, it cuts across industrial, it cuts across petroleum, a whole lot of field, and a whole lot of different branches. And also, first and foremost, microbiology is not just about germs. It's way more than that. So it's in here because it even translates to sustainability. So it has a linkage to sustainability in the sense that these days we're thinking of transition era, we're talking of transition era, talking of greener ways in which we can use to fight greener alternatives which you can use in place of the contemporaries. And microorganisms is a profound solution to that. And the sooner people realize that, the better.
Yeah, so how about you? How did you find microbiology and all these microbes? What was your story?
Okay, so I would like to, yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, so I would like to start with a story. I was in the university, I think 2020, 2016. I was in university, and one day I was in class because I did microbiology as my first degree. And one day I was in class, and the teacher walked in, and she was like, "Today we're going to be talking about petroleum microbiology." And I was like, petroleum microbiology, how does petroleum and microbiology correlate? And I thought deeply. And then when she started teaching, she talked about how microbes can actually be used in extraction of oil from an oil reservoir. And also how microbes can be used in cleaning up oil spillage and all. I was like, I think at that point in time, I was wowed by the abilities of microorganisms and what they can do. And I took interest, I developed a keen interest in knowing more about those tiny little organisms. I call them the invisible forces. So I researched more, and going further, I saw that, they could do a lot more. If microbes can actually clean up oil spillage and can actually be used in extracting oil from oil reservoirs, then what more can't they do? So I think it was that point was my breaking point and my and a reality check for me that microbes are just way beyond what we imagine them to be.
So how do you think that we can change the whole PR branding of microbes, especially for younger kids, like especially if you say invisible forces, I like that. Yeah, how do we change microbes marketing? How do we
Okay.
market it?
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, thank you for that creation. So I'm going to talk like a marketer now, as though I'm marketing one of one of the biggest one of the potential biggest brands in the world. So basically the next sensitizing the next generation is very important as sensitizing the present generation, because the microbiology field and microbiology stand a chance of losing its credibility and its relevance in the world. So the sooner we sensitize the younger generation now, the better for us. So we can basically tell the younger generation about this by integrating a whole lot of relatable practices in different curriculums, in microbiological curriculums. Like I'm writing a paper now about integrating sustainability in microbiology curriculum for the next generation, and it's all about bringing out new ways in which we can teach microbiology to this younger generation, so they can have a form of relatability, so they can actually see that microbes are not just weird things or abstract things, but you can actually use them to better life, and to also create new products, and to do a lot of things. Basically the problem we have now is that these young ones don't know the function and the relevance of microbes in our society. We see food and we do not know that, okay, microbes are responsible for this food. So the younger generation and the next generation, they have to know the importance of microbes first of all, for them to develop an uncanny desire and a particular familiarity to these microorganisms. And then that's when we can break that stereotype that microorganisms and microbiology as a whole has in the world today.
Yeah, I was just thinking back from my own experiences in my 70s, almost 77 years. Don't even remember how old I am all of a sudden. I didn't really get exposed to microbiology until I was in veterinary college. So didn't get really an exposure in school, high school, not even in undergraduate school. So in vet school, we had, courses in microbiology, but basically it was like, okay, here's how you fight the microbes. You've got this disease, it's caused by this microbe, this is the antibiotic, whatever. So, it's probably been just very recent years that I've started to realize how that there's some bad microbes that can kill you, but there's a lot more microbes that actually allow for life to happen here on planet Earth itself. So let's talk about those microbes. How do those microbes, why are they so important in our food production, for example?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that little tutorial, little story, Brad. So microbes are really important here, even in terms of our food production. Very, very important, because they are microbes we call rhizobium microbes. They are necessary and important for food production, because without them, basically, our plants will not grow well. They do the invisible work when it comes to the growth of the roots, from the roots to the rhizobium area and all. So they are really important, because without them, our foods won't grow. We won't have a very large produce of foods. So I think that's where their importance comes in, the roots. And then also aside that, in the soil, microbes have been, I think this is in relation to climate change. So there are some microbes that are in the soil that are good carbon sequestrers. So they sequestrate carbon and sinking carbon and all. It has been found out that microbes are very, very important when it comes to carbon sequestration. So these microbes actually control the in and out of carbon in the soil area. So the microorganisms are a very, very important aspects of the soil health. So whenever you're talking about the soil and anything agriculture, microbes are at the forefront of it. And like you said, people don't really talk about that aspect of the soil, which it's something we need to change. When you talk about soil, you have to talk about microorganisms, because without microbes, you might not really have a good soil health, and at the wider scale of things, less production of foods and other grain plants. So yeah, that's basically it. It is really, really important in the agricultural industry.
Yeah, I guess the sad thing is that everybody just dumps fertilizer and weedicides and pesticides on top of the plants to make them grow. But what we need is actually microorganisms in the soil to regenerate and aerate the soil. And as you said, carbon sequestering and all these things that it does as a natural system. And I believe like today there's only like 50 harvests of soil that we have left because the soil has been so degraded.
Yeah.
Quite scary.
Okay.
50 harvests for 8.2 billion people on the earth because of soil degradation.
For the soil degradation, yeah, and the good thing is that microbes, they don't really, they just do their work. Like they don't need anyone to tell them to do their work. They do it by themselves. That's why I call them the invisible forces, because they quietly do their work without even being told to do so. You don't see them. That's why they are not really appreciated. Supposing we could see the work they do, like we could see them. Supposing they were visible, maybe we would have appreciated them more. But they aren't invisible. They are invincible. So when they do their work, they quietly do it and we basically don't see them. Talk about the waterways. Some microbes in the waterways to help in biodegradation, and also help in remediating waters that have been polluted by some pollutants and all. So the microbes are a really, really pivotal aspects of the earth and the soil and also waterways and everything.
Yeah, and I have to think of a comparison of, at least here in our country, in the United States, we've made some progress around understanding that a lot of our body functions to function healthily depends on healthy microbes, the gut bacteria, and probiotics are a big thing right now to help stimulate that. So we're talking about a very similar thing when it comes to our water and to our soil. If we're concentrating killing those off because they're small and you can't see them, so they must not really exist. So we'll just dump a whole bunch of pesticides and herbicides and petroleum-based fertilizer on it. And so what we end up is not healthy living soil, but dead dirt.
Yeah.
And dead dirt you can't grow very much things without adding a whole bunch of more petroleum products on top of that. So that's what I'm kind of coming away with, is just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not important.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah. And this so in microbiology we actually have microorganisms that use these products as their own food. We have microbes that actually, like there's a microbe that's it's called Pseudomonas. So you don't want to actually, have the tendencies of using hydrocarbons as its own food. So hydrocarbon-based products are actually, important to them because they take it in and then they produce byproducts. So the same products that might be harmful to the society or to human beings at large are really, really beneficial to some sets of microorganisms. So when they utilize them as a form of food, then they give off byproducts that are harmless to the society and to the environment. So that's a good thing about microorganisms.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, awesome. I mean, Brad was talking about the US and the soil there. Are there any issues specifically in Nigeria where you are with soil health and maybe even malnutrition because of the bad soil that exists in this world?
Okay, so in Nigeria as a whole, so Nigeria falls into the global south, and in the global south as a whole, but now in my own case in Nigeria, there is a really ravaging effect of petroleum degradation in terms of, due to oil exploration from IOCs. So it has been, a major issue for over years now, like for so many years. Pollution has been a major issue in Nigeria, and it has rendered so many people homeless. It has rendered so many people hungry, and it has rendered so many people to it has given so many people poverty too, because it has taken away livelihoods from them. We used to have fishermen that go to the sea or go to the river to catch fishes, but due to pollution from exploration of oil, the waterways now have been contaminated, and it has, eliminated the livelihood for them. So, like you said, pollution has always been a major issue for us, and there are companies, there are institutions that have tried to remediate this contamination or this pollution from waterways with the use of microorganisms, and presently now they are still undergoing different experiments, and they're trying to use microorganisms and other biological ways to remediate these, because at this point in time, that's the most cost-effective solution for these. And then also we also have the waste problem in Nigeria, and there are some waste sites or dump sites which they've tried using microorganisms also to decontaminate the waste, and also to biodegrade those waste too that have been gotten from some sites. So in Nigeria as a whole, we actually need to move forward and build on our advancements, because that has always been an issue for us. But I believe going forward, microbes can be a major solution for some of the prevailing issues we have now in Nigeria and global south as a whole.
Yeah, so I hope this microbe marketing works, because it seems like we need more of them, more microbes.
So as
Yeah,
we start to pull this to a close, one of our primary audiences are, what I like to call eco-conscious families. So families who have an awareness of the importance of our relationship to Earth. And one of the things that I kind of embrace more and more here of late is, you can't, it comes back to the old adage, how do you eat an elephant? You eat it one bite at a time. And usually those are small bites. So what would be some baby steps that our eco-conscious family members could take to have a new relationship to the world of the microbes, and could actually start to implement some of some of this into their day-to-day life and in their gardening and in their own health? What would you suggest that they could do to start to have a friendlier relationship with the microbes?
Okay. Firstly, before there's a familiarity with these microbes, you have to understand that, like you said earlier when the video started, there are good and bad microbes, and you need to understand that the good microbes are more than the bad microbes. So, like I said earlier, sensitization is the first thing. So you have to, have that mindset that microbes are they are beneficial to the community, they're beneficial to us as humans, and they're beneficial to soil health and the waterways and everything. That's your first, that should be the first, that should be your first conviction. And secondly, then there is what we call isolation of microorganisms. That might be quite complex for a beginner, but the first thing when you want to be intentional about the microbes around you is to isolate the microbes. So once you isolate the microbes, and then you go through what they call core sharing and all that, you get to isolate the microbes. When you isolate it, then you can identify one particular microbe that actually does whatever thing you're looking for. Like, for example, the bioremediation of a polluted water. So you get the microbe, you identify it, and when you identify it, you use it to do whatever thing you want to do. So basically, everything boils down to the fact that these things are relatable. When you go to your garden and you see your soil, you should know that, okay, there's a microbe there working for me. When you go to a polluted area and you see that, okay, this water has been contaminated or polluted, there's a microbe responsible for the cleanup of this polluted water. So you just have to, relate everything to microbes. So that is how we can, bring in this whole idea that, okay, microbes are really, really important in our society at large. And also, when we look around, we just see microbes, but we don't really see them, but we see them and we see the work they are doing. So that's why I say I call them the invisible forces, because there's always something microbes can do. And I forgot to mention earlier that microbes can be linked to sustainability in the sense that when we talk about sustainability, most people think sustainability is all about technological advancements and so many big grammars and all. But sustainability microbes should teach you something about sustainability in the sense that when you say sustainability, you should know that sustainability is not just about the big things, but it's about the small things like microbes. It's about the things that come from the ground. And it's about a whole lot of other things and not just the big technological advancements and everything.
All right.
Great.
We want to thank you for your time today from Nigeria. We're calling you from all over the world today.
Yeah.
And we always like to put in that.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Mala.
Thank you.
Yeah. Super
And
interesting.
Happy
Hopefully, let us know if you get any emails about microbes because of this. We'll post it everywhere.
Yeah, I will surely. I will. I appreciate Brad and Mala for having me on here. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
And we really enjoy guests like this. So if you are listening to this, and you have you think you could be a good guest, or somebody who would be a good guest, we particularly would be really interested in getting some guests on of other younger generations. Young, as I like to call them, young eco guardians who are making a difference out in the world with our relationship to the web of life. let us know, and we will follow up and have them come up on the show.
Yeah.
Anything else for you, Marla, as we complete?
No, but also not anything to add, just also like if you don't want to come on the show and you want us to talk about a specific topic, please send us a message and we'll do it for you. So you don't have to be on the show if you don't want to talk to us, that's fine.
That's very good. Okay, everybody, until next time, this is Brad and Marla, and today's Preye signing off on Earth Day.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.